The invitation arrived in a pink envelope, drowning in glitter and reeking of my sister's signature perfume. I didn't need to open it to know what it was. Viviana's baby shower invitation had been plastered all over Instagram for weeks. Still, my hands trembled as I slid my finger under the seal. My name is Reagan, and I've spent 28 years being the family disappointment. The black sheep. The one who just doesn't try hard enough. Funny how that works when you're never given the chance to try at all. The card inside was worse than the envelope. A cascade of rose gold foil and cursive font announcing, "Join us in celebrating our precious miracle." I snorted, dropping it onto my desk next to my laptop where a notification pinged. Another $1,000 donation to my online platform. My phone buzzed. Roman's name flashed on the screen. "Let me guess," he said when I answered. "The invitation finally reached you?" "In all its tacky glory." I spun in my office chair, staring out at the Seattle skyline from my penthouse window. Mum added a personal note. "We expect you to make this special for your sister." Translation: they want your money. When don't they? I laughed, but it came out hollow. Remember when they made me quit my college job because Viviana needed a car? And now look at you, running a multi-million-dollar empire while they think you're barely scraping by at some tech startup. Roman paused. "Maybe it's time to show them who you really are." I touched my laptop screen, where hundreds of messages from women in my community scrolled past. Women who'd found their voice, their strength, their freedom through the platform I'd built from my own pain. "They'd never believe it anyway," I said. "Besides, Viviana's the influencer. I'm just the family failure, remember? Reagan?" Roman's voice turned serious. "You've helped thousands of women stand up to toxic families. Maybe it's time you faced yours." My phone buzzed again. A text from my cousin Joshua. "You should come. Things aren't what they seem here." "What's the worst that could happen?" Roman pressed. "You show up, watch the spectacle, leave early." I picked up the invitation again, studying the address of the rented mansion where Viviana would hold court like the princess she'd always been. The worst? They'll try to guilt me into funding another of Viviana's dreams while crushing mine. And can they crush you anymore? I thought about my bank account, my speaking tours, the book deal I'd just signed, all built on the ashes of the dreams they'd burned. "No," I said slowly, "they can't. So go, get closure. Or better yet," Roman chuckled, "get even." Another text from Joshua. "Seriously, you need to see this." I touched the raised lettering on the invitation, remembering every sacrifice, every dismissal, every time I was told to make myself smaller so Viviana could shine brighter. "Fine," I said, already pulling up my calendar. "I'll go, but not for them." "For who then?" I smiled, thinking of all the women who'd shared their stories on my platform, who'd found their power in my words. For every daughter who was told she wasn't enough, and to see what price they want me to pay this time. "That's my girl." Roman's grin was audible. "Want me to be your plus one?" "No." I grabbed a pen, checking the attending box with perhaps more force than necessary. "This is something I need to do alone." After hanging up, I stared at my reflection in the window. The woman looking back wasn't the same girl who'd left home 6 years ago with nothing but a laptop and determination. She was stronger now. Successful. Free. And maybe, just maybe, it was time for my family to meet her. I sealed my RSVP in its matching envelope, adding a note of my own. "Looking forward to celebrating. Love, Reagan." They had no idea what was coming, but they would. The rented mansion loomed before me, its windows gleaming like judging eyes. Cars lined the circular driveway, all luxury models, of course. Nothing but the best for Viviana's special day. "Reagan!" My Aunt Stella hurried down the steps, arms outstretched. "I can't believe you actually came." Her hug felt genuine, unlike the artificial warmth radiating from the house. Through the open door, I could hear my sister's distinctive laugh, high and practiced, her influencer laugh, as I'd come to think of it. "Wouldn't miss it," I said, adjusting my simple black dress. "How bad is it in there?" Stella's smile faltered. "Your mother's been monitoring the gift table, and Viviana's been live streaming everything." Perfect. I clutched my small wrapped package, a handmade baby blanket that probably cost less than Viviana's mascara. Inside, the foyer buzzed with guests in designer outfits, all clustering around my very pregnant sister. Viviana held court in a flowing white dress, one hand perpetually cradling her belly, while the other held her phone at the optimal angle. "Oh my God!" she spotted me. "You actually showed up." Before I could respond, my mother materialised beside her. "Reagan, you're late." "Traffic," I said, though I'd been sitting in my car for 20 minutes gathering courage. Mum's eyes swept over my outfit, cataloguing every flaw. "Well, at least you made an effort to dress appropriately." Joshua appeared at my elbow, rescue written all over his face. "Reagan, let me show you the refreshments." "Not yet," Mum said. "Viviana's about to open presents. You'll want to see this, Reagan. Some people really know how to show their love." The gift opening ceremony was exactly as excruciating as I'd expected. Each present was more extravagant than the last. Designer baby clothes, solid gold rattles, a custom-made crib that probably cost more than my first car. "This nursery is going to be absolutely perfect," Viviana gushed to her phone. "My followers have been dying to see the reveal." "Speaking of the nursery," Mum's voice carried across the room, "Reagan hasn't given her gift yet." The room fell silent. Phones turned toward me like weapons. "It's just a blanket," I said, holding out my package. "I made it myself." Viviana's smile didn't waver as she opened it, but her eyes hardened. "Oh, how crafty." "A blanket?" Mom's disappointment could have frozen hell. "Really, Reagan? I thought it was personal." "Personal doesn't pay for the custom wallpaper your sister needs," Dad cut in, appearing from nowhere. "Or did you forget family obligations while playing at your little start-up job?" Joshua stepped closer. "Actually, Reagan's doing really well." "A blanket," Viviana interrupted, her influencer mask slipping, while Avery got me the limited edition stroller I wanted. Avery preened beside her. "Only the best for my bestie." "Reagan," Mom's voice dropped to that familiar, guilt-inducing whisper. "We need to talk about your contribution to your sister's happiness, privately." "Nothing needs to be private," I said, louder than necessary. "Whatever you want to say it here." "Fine." Mum's eyes glittered. "Your sister needs help with the nursery. Real help, not craft projects." "The estimates came in higher than expected," Dad added. "We know you have savings." "Savings?" I couldn't help laughing. "You mean the money I earned after you made me quit college to pay for Viviana's wedding?" "That was different," Viviana snapped. "You always need," I said. "And I'm always expected to provide." The room had gone silent, phones still recording. Stella touched my arm. "Maybe we should take a break." "No breaks," Mum said. "Reagan needs to understand her responsibility. The nursery costs need to be covered, and as family," I echoed. "Interesting concept." "Don't be difficult," Dad warned. "Your sister deserves the best," I smiled, thinking of my penthouse, my empire, my real life they knew nothing about. "You have no idea what anyone deserves." Viviana's eyes narrowed. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," I said, standing straighter, "that maybe it's time for some truth-telling." The phones kept recording, and for once I was glad they were. "Truth-telling?" Mum's laugh was sharp enough to cut glass. "What truth could you possibly have to tell, Reagan? That you're bitter? Jealous of your sister's success?" The crowd of guests shifted uncomfortably, but no one lowered their phones. Viviana's followers were about to get quite a show. Success? I glanced at my sister's designer dress. Her perfectly curated life. "You mean her sponsored posts? Her borrowed mansion? Tell me, Viviana, how many of your followers know Dad paid for those first 100,000 followers?" Viviana's face went white. "That's not... Or that your luxury lifestyle content is all smoke and mirrors," I continued. "Designer bags returned the next day, rented clothes, staged photos in other people's homes." "Enough!" Dad stepped forward, his face red. "You're just proving how childish and resentful you are. Your sister has built something real." "Real?" I laughed. "Like making me drop out of college to pay for her wedding, or selling my car to cover her credit card debt." "That was years ago," Mum snapped. "And you're still bringing it up. This is about now. About family duty." "Family duty?" The words tasted bitter. Like when you made me quit my first real job because Viviana needed help planning her engagement party. Avery shifted away from Viviana, her influencer loyalty already wavering. Joshua stood in the corner, phone raised, a small smile playing on his lips. I was getting married. Viviana's voice rose, her hand protectively over her belly. It was important. Everything about you is important, I said. Everything about me is disposable. That's not true, Mum said, but her eyes darted to the watching crowd. We've always supported both our daughters. Really? I pulled out my phone, opened my photos. Should we talk about my graduation? The one you skipped for Viviana's makeup masterclass? That was a sponsored event, Viviana protested. I couldn't reschedule. Or my first art show, I swiped to the next photo. The one Dad said was a waste of time, right before writing Viviana a check for her social media consulting business. The room had grown so quiet you could hear the ice melting in abandoned champagne glasses. Reagan, Dad's voice held a warning. You're embarrassing yourself. No, I cut him off. I'm done being embarrassed. Done being the family ATM. Done watching you destroy one daughter to prop up another. Destroy? Mum's voice cracked. We gave you everything. You gave me trauma, I corrected. And guess what? I built something from it. Something real. Viviana's hand tightened on her phone. What are you talking about? Your sister is delusional, Mum said quickly. Working at some little tech company. Actually, Joshua spoke up, Reagan's being modest. She's not just working at a tech company. He grinned at me. Show them. I pulled up my company's website on my phone, projected it onto the massive TV mounted on the wall. Gasps filled the room as my face appeared, speaking at conferences, featured in magazines, listed as one of Forbes' 30 under 30. That's impossible, Viviana whispered. Impossible? I scrolled through the articles. Like building a multi-million-dollar platform helping women escape toxic families, like funding shelters and scholarships while you begged for nursery money. Mom stepped forward, her expression changing from anger to calculation. Why didn't you tell us? We're family. Family? I turned to the watching crowd, to the phone still recording. Family doesn't destroy one child to worship another. Family doesn't create trauma for profit. Family doesn't... Stop! Viviana shrieked, tears smearing her perfect makeup. You're ruining everything! No, I said quietly. You did that yourselves. Every time you tore me down to build her up. Every time you sacrificed my future for her present. Reagan! Dad's voice turned pleading. Let's discuss this privately. Nothing stays private anymore, I said, watching Viviana's follower count begin to drop in real time. Isn't that right, sis? Isn't that what you always say? Content is king? The room erupted in whispers. Phones buzzed with notifications. And in the middle of it all, my family stood frozen, watching their carefully constructed facade crumble. But I wasn't done, not even close. Turn off those phones, Dad shouted, but it was too late. The damage was spreading through social media like wildfire. My followers. Viviana stared at her phone in horror. They're unfollowing, commenting. Oh, God. This isn't about your followers, I said. This is about years of manipulation and abuse. Abuse? Mum laughed nervously, eyes darting between the guests. Reagan, you're being dramatic. Dramatic? I pulled up a video on my phone. Like this. The recording played, echoing through the silent room, Mom screaming at 16-year-old me to give Viviana my college fund because she needs it more than you do. Where did you get that? Mum's face went pale. I recorded everything, I said. Every tantrum, every demand, every time you chose her over me. It's all documented. Avery stepped forward, her influencer instincts kicking in. Viviana, maybe we should end the live stream. Don't you dare, I said. Let them watch. Let them see what really happens behind the perfect family facade. Joshua moved closer, still recording. Tell them about the platform, Reagan. Tell them what you built. A community, I said, my voice carrying across the stunned room. A safe space for daughters like me. Women who were told they weren't enough, weren't worthy, weren't special enough to matter. That's not true, Dad protested. We loved you. You used me, I corrected. Like an ATM, like a backup plan. like Viviana's personal support system. Stella spoke up from the corner. She's right. We all saw it. We all stayed silent. And now, I continued, that platform helps thousands of women, funds scholarships, provides therapy, creates escape plans. Escape plans? Viviana's voice cracked. From what? From families like ours. I turned to face her directly. From mothers who pit daughters against each other. From fathers who fund one child's dreams while crushing another's. The room buzzed with whispers. Phones pinged with notifications. Viviana's carefully curated world was unravelling in real time. Reagan! Mum's voice turned syrupy sweet. Darling, if you're this successful, surely you can help your sister. Family should. Don't! My voice could have frozen fire. Don't you dare try to manipulate this. But the nursery, Viviana began. Can be funded by your sponsors, I cut in. Oh, wait, they're dropping you fast. Avery checked her phone. It's trending. Toxic family exposed. This isn't fair. Viviana burst into tears. It's my baby shower. Was anything ever fair? I asked quietly. Was it fair when you took my car? My college fund? My chance at an education? You could have said no, Dad argued. How so is she? Could I? I pulled up another video, him threatening to kick me out if I didn't help the family. The crowd gasped. Someone muttered, monsters. Phones kept recording. Reagan, Joshua said softly. Show them the numbers. I projected my company's financials onto the TV. 7 figures, 8 figures, growth charts that looked like mountain ranges. All this time, Mum whispered. All this money. None of it for you, I finished. Every dollar helps someone else's daughter escape. Every cent builds someone else's dreams. But we're family, Viviana sobbed. Family? I laughed. Family doesn't destroy their children for social media clout. Family doesn't... Enough, Dad roared. You ungrateful. Ungrateful? I stepped closer. For what? The trauma. The therapy bills. The years of being told I wasn't enough. The room fell silent again. Even Viviana's sobs quieted. You want to know the best part? I smiled, cold and sharp. Every time you tear someone down, they might build an empire from the ruins. Every time you crush a daughter's dreams, she might create something bigger than you could imagine. Mum stepped forward, reaching for me. Reagan, please. Don't touch me. I backed away. Don't speak to me. Don't contact me. We're done. But the nursery, Viviana whimpered. The baby. Your baby, I said, heading for the door, will hopefully never know what it's like to be the forgotten child, the disposable one, the ATM. I paused at the threshold, looking back at my shattered family. Goodbye. And thank you. For what? Dad demanded. For giving me enough pain to build something beautiful. The door closed behind me, but not before I heard the chaos erupting inside. My phone buzzed, messages from women who'd watched the live stream, sharing their own stories. The truth was finally out, and it was going viral. I made it halfway to my car before the mansion's door burst open behind me. Reagan! Mom's heels clicked rapidly on the pavement. You can't leave like this! Watch me. I kept walking, but she grabbed my arm. You don't understand, she hissed. We're in trouble. Real trouble. I turned to face her. What kind of trouble? Financial. Dad appeared beside her, his face ashen. The house, Viviana's medical bills. You thought I'd bail you out, I finished. Like always. A commotion at the door drew our attention. Viviana stumbled out, mascara streaking her face, phone clutched in her shaking hand. My sponsors, she sobbed. They're all dropping me, all of them. The nursery company, the baby clothes brand, even the vitamin partnership. Good, I said. Maybe you can finally live in reality instead of Instagram filters. Joshua emerged, still recording. The live stream hit 100,000 viewers. Comments are interesting. Turn that off. Dad lunged for Joshua's phone, but he danced away. No way, Uncle Ted. This is prime content. Avery rushed past us to her car, not even glancing at Viviana. Other guests began streaming out, whispering and pointing. Reagan! Mum's voice turned desperate. We can fix this. Take down those videos. Tell everyone it was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? I laughed. Like when you misunderstood my need for therapy after you gave away my college fund. Or when you misunderstood my tears as jealousy instead of pain. We did what we had to, Dad shouted. Viviana needed, I cut him off. What about what I needed? A father, a mother, basic human dignity. More phones appeared in windows, recording our confrontation. Viviana's sobs grew louder. My followers are sharing everything, she wailed. The returned clothes, the fake vacation posts, even the borrowed cars. Your house of cards was always going to fall, I said quietly. I just gave it a push. Please, Mum grabbed my hands. We'll lose everything. The house, our reputation. Like I lost everything, I pulled away. Multiple times? Joshua stepped closer. Reagan's platform has over 2 million active users. Women sharing stories just like hers. Want to see the numbers again? 2 million? Viviana whispered. But I only had 500,000 followers. Quality over quantity, sis. My followers aren't bought. Dad's face turned purple. You ungrateful little... Careful, Joshua warned. Still streaming. Stella appeared in the doorway. Reagan, your story. It's trending nationwide. Women are sharing their own experiences. It's beautiful. Beautiful? Mom screeched. She's destroying us. No, I said firmly. You destroyed yourselves. One sacrifice at a time. One demand at a time. One crushed dream at a time. My phone buzzed continuously. Messages from my community, from media outlets, from women seeking help. I'll never forgive you for this, Viviana spat, cradling her belly. My baby. Will hopefully grow up in a more honest world, I finished, without fake perfection and toxic expectations. We're your family. Dad tried one last time. Your blood. Blood? I turned to the phones, to the watching world. Blood doesn't excuse abuse. Family doesn't justify destruction. Love shouldn't require sacrifice. Stella stepped forward. She's right. We all watched. We all enabled. We're all guilty. Except me, Joshua grinned. I just documented everything. Mum collapsed onto the mansion's steps, her carefully maintained facade crumbling. What do you want from us? Nothing, I said simply. Not anymore. I built something beautiful from your destruction. I helped others rise from similar ashes. That's enough. But the bills, Dad started, are yours to handle, I finished. Just like my therapy bills were mine. My student loans were mine. My broken dreams were mine. Viviana's phone pinged. My manager. He's dropping me too. Welcome to reality, I said, finally reaching my car. It's less filtered than Instagram, but more honest. Reagan, Mum called out one last time. Please. I paused, hand on the car door. Thank you. For what? She whispered. For showing me exactly what kind of parent I never want to be. I drove away, leaving them standing in the wreckage of their carefully constructed lies. My phone continued buzzing with messages of support, stories of survival, and requests for help. Sometimes, I thought, the best revenge is simply telling the truth. My phone wouldn't stop ringing as I pulled into my building's parking garage. Roman's name flashed on the screen for the 5th time. Please tell me you're watching this unfold, he said when I answered. Living it, I replied, stepping into the private elevator. How bad is it? Bad? Reagan, it's beautiful. Toxic Family Exposed is trending #1. Your platform's user count just jumped by 50,000. And Viviana? What about her? Her latest post is something else. I pulled up Instagram as I entered my penthouse. Viviana had gone live again, her perfect makeup now a streaked mess. I know I've made mistakes, she sobbed to her rapidly diminishing audience. But my sister! She doesn't understand. I'm having a baby! The comments scrolled past rapidly. Being pregnant doesn't excuse abuse. What about your sister's dreams? Return those designer baby clothes, honey. You're cancelled. My doorbell rang. Joshua stood there grinning. That was epic, he said, walking in. Want to see the full footage? How did you get here so fast? Left right after you, but you should see what happened next. He pulled out his phone. Your mum had a complete meltdown. The video showed Mum screaming at the remaining guests to leave, threatening lawsuits, demanding phones be surrendered. Dad stood in the background, making frantic calls to their lawyer. They're trying to contain it, Joshua said, but it's way too late. My laptop chimed with email notifications, media requests, interview opportunities, speaking engagements. Reagan! Roman burst through the door without knocking. Have you seen the numbers? Your story is exploding. It's not just my story anymore, I said, scrolling through messages from women sharing similar experiences. It's everyone's. My phone buzzed again. Aunt Stella. You need to know, she said when I answered. Your parent, they're in serious trouble. The bank's been calling. And Viviana's husband. What about him? He saw the live stream, found out about the fake lifestyle, the debt. He's talking divorce. I should have felt something. Guilt, maybe. Satisfaction. Instead, I felt oddly empty. Good, I said simply. Truth hurts. Another notification. Avery had unfollowed Viviana and posted a lengthy apology for enabling toxic behaviour. Your sister's having contractions, Stella continued. Stress-induced. They're at the hospital. Roman grabbed my hand. Don't you dare feel guilty. I don't, I realised. They made their choices. Now they're facing consequences. Joshua's phone buzzed. Speaking of consequences, your parents' country club membership just got revoked. Something about maintaining standards. The messages kept coming. Women sharing stories of financial abuse, of sacrificed dreams, of toxic family dynamics. Each one strengthened my resolve. Reagan, Roman said softly. CNN is calling. They want your story. Our story, I corrected, thinking of my community. All of our stories. My phone lit up with a text from Dad. You've ruined everything. I hope you're happy. I typed back, I am, for the first time in my life. Joshua showed me his screen. Viviana's follower count had dropped below 10,000. Her sponsored posts were being deleted one by one. Her carefully curated life was vanishing in real time. She's posting again, Roman said. Viviana's tear-stained face filled the screen. I know I've hurt people, especially my sister. I'm sorry, please. I need help. Don't, Roman warned. It's manipulation. I know, I said, blocking her number. I'm done being the family saviour. Stella texted again. Your mother's asking for your address. Says she wants to make things right. I laughed. 6 years too late. Joshua's phone chimed. Your story just got picked up by major news outlets. Tech CEO exposes family's toxic dynasty. Want to see? Not really. I walked to my window, looking out at the city lights. I didn't do this for fame. No, Roman said. You did it for every daughter who's ever been told to make herself smaller. My laptop pinged again. Thousands of new sign-ups to my platform. Women seeking community, seeking strength, seeking their own voice. So what now? Joshua asked. I smiled, thinking of all the stories yet to be told, all the daughters yet to be freed. Now, I said, we help them rise. 3 days after the baby shower, I sat in my office watching the fallout continue to spread. My phone lit up with Stella's name. Viviana had the baby, she said without preamble. A girl. My hands froze over my keyboard. Is she okay? The baby's fine. Viviana, not so much. Her husband left. The hospital bills are mounting. Your parents... Don't! I cut her off. I don't want to know. They're losing the house, Reagan. The bank called in their loans. Roman walked in, carrying 2 coffees. He took one look at my face and mouthed, Family? I nodded, putting the phone on speaker. Your mother's been calling everyone for money, Stella continued. No one's answering. Your father's company is investigating him for financial irregularities. Karma, Roman muttered, setting down my coffee. My laptop chimed, another media request. The story had gone beyond viral, sparking a national conversation about toxic family dynamics and financial abuse. Viviana posted again, Joshua texted. You should see this. I pulled up Instagram. My sister, looking exhausted and makeup-free, cradled her newborn. Meet Hope, the caption read. Name because that's what I need right now. Reagan, if you're reading this, I understand now. What we did to you, what I did. Having a daughter, it changes everything. Don't fall for it, Roman warned. I'm not, I said, closing the app. But my office door opened. A young woman stood there, clutching a familiar-looking notebook. I'm sorry to interrupt, she said. I'm here for the mentorship program. I brought my escape plan. Come in, I said immediately, recognizing the determination in her eyes. The same look I'd had 6 years ago. Stella was still talking. Your mother's planning to write a book, her side of the story. Let her, I replied. Truth speaks louder than justification. My inbox pinged, a message from Avery. Viviana's marriage was as fake as her posts. He married her for social media clout. Now he's writing a tell-all. Reagan, the young woman spoke up. Your story. It gave me courage. To leave. To build something new. Roman squeezed my shoulder. That's what matters. Not the drama. Not the fallout. This. My phone buzzed again. Dad's number. Then Mum's. Then Viviana's. One after another, like desperate dominoes falling. They're in crisis mode, Joshua texted. The country club crowd is shunning them. Their friends are vanishing. Sound familiar? Like what they did to me, I murmured. The young woman held out her notebook. I have ideas for my own business, like you did. Show me, I said, ignoring the continuing buzz of my phone. Stella sighed through the speaker. Viviana's asking about the women's shelter you funded. Says she might need it. The irony, Roman muttered. I looked at the young woman's plans, seeing my own past determination reflected in her careful notes. Your sister named her baby Hope, Stella pressed. Don't you think that means something? Yes, I said. It means she's still manipulating, still performing, even now. My laptop chimed again, an email from my publisher. The pre-orders for my book were breaking records. They're your family, Stella tried one last time. No. I looked at the young woman across my desk, at Roman's protective stance, at Joshua's supportive messages. These people are my family, the ones who build instead of break. I ended the call, turned to the young woman. Tell me your story. Tell me your dreams. She straightened, opened her notebook. I want to help others, like you did. Then let's build something beautiful, I said, thinking of all the daughters still trapped, still silenced, still waiting to rise. My phone buzzed one final time, a text from Viviana. The baby looks like you. I blocked her number without responding. Some chains needed to be broken completely. Ready? I asked the young woman. She nodded, hope blazing in her eyes. Then let's begin, I said, pushing away the ghosts of my past. Your story starts now. Behind us, the city skyline glittered with possibility. Ahead, countless daughters waited to be freed, to be empowered, to be heard, and I was ready to help them all. The auditorium buzzed with energy as I stepped onto the stage. A sea of faces looked back at me, women of all ages, each carrying their own story of survival. Welcome to the first annual Rising Daughters Summit, I said into the microphone. I'm Reagan, and like many of you, I was once told to make myself smaller. Movement at the back of the hall caught my eye. Joshua slipped in, followed by Stella. They'd been my constant supporters through everything that followed the baby shower showdown. My story went viral, I continued, but it's not unique. Look around you. Every person here has faced similar choices, stay small or rise up. Roman gave me a thumbs up from the wings. On the screen behind me, photos began to scroll. Women at their graduation ceremonies, launching businesses, buying homes. All members of our community. Breaking free isn't just about leaving, I said. It's about building something new. A baby's cry pierced the quiet. Near the middle of the hall, Viviana stood up, clutching Hope. Our eyes met briefly before she hurried toward the exit. Even now, I continued, my family tries to pull me back. They've lost everything, their house, their status, their carefully constructed lies. They call it karma. I call it consequences. The screen showed new images, our women's shelter, our scholarship programs, our mentorship successes. But this isn't about revenge, I said. It's about revolution. The young woman from my office, now running her own successful coaching practice, stood up in the front row. Reagan taught me that our pain can become our power, she announced. That our scars can become our strength. Phones lit up throughout the audience. Not for social media clout or carefully curated images, but to capture something real. My sister named her daughter Hope, I said, watching Viviana pause at the door. She thought it would soften me, make me forget. But hope isn't about erasing the past. It's about building the future. Joshua moved to the stage, handed me an envelope. Inside was a letter from my mother, another attempt at manipulation, no doubt. I held it up. This morning, I received this. One more plea for help, for money, for family loyalty. And this is what I do with it. I ripped it in half, letting the pieces fall. The audience erupted in cheers, because sometimes, I continued, the most powerful thing we can do is say no, keep our boundaries, protect our peace. Stella approached the stage, tears in her eyes. Your parents are outside, she whispered. They want to speak to you. Tell them congratulations, I said into the microphone, watching Stella's confusion. They finally taught me the most valuable lesson, how to walk away. The screen behind me showed our latest project, a nationwide network of support centres for women escaping toxic families. We rise by lifting others, I said. We heal by helping others heal. We grow by breaking the chains that bind us, the audience finished in unison, our community's motto. Viviana reached the door, turned back one last time. In her arms, Hope began to cry again. To my niece, I said, watching my sister freeze. And to every daughter out there. You don't have to be what they tell you to be. You don't have to stay small. You don't have to repeat the cycle. Roman stepped forward with a stack of books. My memoir, Rising Daughter, already a bestseller. This story belongs to all of us now, I said. Every woman who's ever been told to sacrifice herself for someone else's dreams. Every daughter who's been made to feel less than. Every sister who's been pitted against another. The audience rose, applauding. In their faces, I saw determination, strength, and something more powerful than hope, certainty. We are not our family's ATMs, I declared. We are not our sisters' keepers. We are not our parents' retirement plans. We are rising daughters, the crowd roared. As the cheers echoed, I watched Viviana slip away with hope. Some cycles would end with her generation. Some wounds would heal with time. Some stories would have different endings. But mine? Mine was just beginning. And it was absolutely perfect.